Greetings, y'all. So today I'm going to try to go through my collection of 45s that I have consisting of Van Halen and David Lee Roth singles. I mentioned maybe once or twice on previous episodes that was my favorite band when I was growing up. Probably right around 83, I guess, is when I really kind of got into the band. I was anticipating the 1984 album. I bought it the weekend after it came out, and that album made me a fanatic. And, you know, of course, a year later, that incarnation of the band split up, so I never got to see them live. I came very close in 1984. I'll tell that story when I get to those albums, but never got to see them live. I've seen the other versions of live. I've seen Dave live a handful of times, but never got to see that version live, unfortunately. So I'm just going to kind of whiz through these singles that I have for the band. From Van Halen 1, I have You Really Got Me on the old, Palm Boulevard Warner Brothers logo there. The back is Atomic Punk. There's an old Two Guys, which was an old department store. Price tag on here, 77 cents. I bought this probably at a record show or something. So that price tag isn't for this, but I guess that's what singles cost back then, 77 cents, huh? Also from Van Halen 1, I've got Feel Your Love Tonight and Ain't Talking About Love. Ain't Talking About Love was the single. Feel Your Love Tonight was the B-side. Great tunes, great album. Van Halen 2, I have Dance the Night Away. Is on the back. Out of Love Again, that's what I was going to guess. That's a good tune. Dance the Night Away. This was their first really big hit. You Really Got Me hit the top 40. This went top 20. Kind of, solidified their place in the rock world. Also from Van Halen 2, I have Beautiful Girls was released as a single. This is the edit, and on the back is DOA. Not sure what the edit is. It's 337. I'd have to check. I'll have to maybe put that on and take a listen to it. Then we've got Women and Children First. Wasn't really the band itself wasn't big on singles, that early part of the band. They had a few, but they weren't really, known for their big hit singles necessarily. They released And the Cradle Will Rock as a single. I don't know if it charted. If it did, it was probably in the very lower portion of the top 100. The back is Could This Be Magic, which that's, probably one of my favorite Van Halen tunes, and it's probably an odd choice. It's probably not a lot of Van Halen fans' favorite songs, but I just like it. I loved when Van Halen would sort of branch out and do something a little different that was kind of outside of the norm for them, Then from Fair Warning, we have So This Is Love, and backed with Hear About It Later. I was always surprised it didn't do well. I don't know if it charted in the top 100. Again, if it did, it probably was in the lower portion of it. But it always surprised me. This felt like it could have done pretty well on rock radio and top 40. But good tune. So This Is Love, Fair Warning, great album. Then we go to Diver Down, and we've got Pretty Woman, and this was backed with Happy Trails. This was originally just released as a single to kind of, hold things over until the band reconvened and made another album. This song took off and kind of surprised maybe the band, but the record label for sure. And when the song, went into the top 20, obviously the record label is we want an album to go along with this. So the band went into the studio to make the album Diver Down, which, gets a lot of crap from fans. Ed himself has, complained about it, all covers, blah, 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 blah. But I love it. It's the one out of those first 6 albums. I mean, I've listened to them so many times that, I don't, it's just, I don't crave to listen necessarily to, Running with the Devil or Ain't Talking About Love Again. But for some reason, Diver Down, even Pretty Woman on there, I still can listen to that album, and enjoy listening to that record. It's short, but it's just, to me, it's the perfect encapsulation of what that band was, the spirit of Van Halen. Just, fun. It makes me think of just kind of a easygoing. It's a good summertime record. I love Diver Down. I defend it till the end. So that's Pretty Woman. Then they released Dancing in the Street. This was backed with the full bug, a really good tune. Good version, you know, it's completely different from the original, but really good. This was kind of one of the songs that was sort of a bone of contention between Ed and Dave and Ted Templeman. Then, of course, we get to 1984, and we've got the big #1 song, Jump, and this was backed with House of Pain. I love Jump. I loved it then when it came out. I couldn't get enough of it. A lot of fans weren't happy with it because it was so poppy sounding. But I liked it. I have no problem with it. I still like it. I'm not sick of it where I'm like, turn it off. I don't want to hear it again. I love it. It's just a fun tune. The video is awesome. But that's Jump. And we've got the next single was I'll Wait. This had, what was on the back of this? Drop Dead Legs, maybe? Girl Gone Bad. So this was their second single off 1984. Didn't make a video for this. I don't know why. Maybe they were busy just starting their tour up, so there just maybe wasn't time, I guess. I don't know, but it would have been interesting to see what kind of video they came up with this. This was co-written by Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers. Didn't get credit originally, but you know, if you buy a reissue of the album or anything like that, he's credited now. And I think now they took Michael Anthony's name off the credits, as a matter of fact, for that and a couple other songs on 1984, which, whatever, it's kind of whatever. Who needs to talk about that drama in that band? Then, of course, they had Panama. They made a video, a cool video for this, concert video. This was backed with Drop Dead Legs. This one, a lot of people love. I feel like I'm a little tired of this one at this point, but good tune. Loved it at the time. Then we came with their final single. Best video I think they ever did was, of course, Hot for Teacher. I think this had Little Dreamer on the back. Also came in this, I think they called it like a wallet version. Oh, I've got an old. So single 45 came in this little plastic thing, and then this slides out and it's a poster. I'm not going to do it now because it's a little tight and everything. But the funny thing is here, I didn't even realize I have a review from the David Lee Roth show from 1986 that I went to at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. I stuck in there. That's interesting. So that's Hot for Teacher, little wallet, 45. And then we've got Why Can't This Be Love? 5150 comes out, new singer, kind of a new band. Why Can't This Be Love's a big hit, goes to like, I think, #3. The back of this tune was Get Up. I liked it, you know, it's very, very poppy. I mean, if people had a problem with Jump, Lord knows what they thought of this. But I wasn't a big fan of Hagar, and I never really liked him before he joined Van Halen. But, you know, I mean, Ed, Alan, and Mike are just so awesome that, you know, I still enjoyed the band and a lot of their music that they put out. Then they put out OU 812, and we've got the first single from that was Black and Blue. Kind of an odd choice for a first single. The back of this was Apolitical Blues, which was a cover. I think it's a Little Feat tune. I think it was on the CD, but it wasn't on the album or the cassette, or I don't know, whatever it was like that. But, you know, Black and Blue, good tune. That's all I got for Van Halen. Let's whiz through the David Lee Roth ones. So up from his debut EP, solo EP, Crazy from the Heat. Good 4 tunes. I love the 4 tunes on there. And oddly enough, the 2 that weren't released as singles are, I think, my favorite, was Easy Street and Coconut Grove. I love Coconut Grove. But obviously his first single was a cover of the Beach Boys' California Girls. The back of this has like a remix of the California Girls. You know, I'm sure you've seen the video. I love the video. They were great. Awesome at the time. He got robbed at those MTV Awards where he got all these nominations and didn't win a single one. Follow up, Just a Gigolo medley with I Ain't Got No Body. The video is awesome, but I was never bananas about the song, really. I could have sworn back in the day that I saw this 45 where, I know it's not true, but I like my memory, I could have sworn that I saw like the A side was Just a Gigolo and the B side was I Ain't Got No Body. But, you know, I've searched high and low and I've come to realize that I just remembered that wrong. That wasn't the case. But this was a second single. It was a top 20 hit, I think, something like that. But it did well for him. Then, of course, Van Halen split. He puts out Eat 'Em and Smile with his new band. First single out of the gate, Yankee Rose. I remember buying this. I was visiting a friend of mine who moved down to North Carolina. I remember going to the record store and picking this up. And when I came home from that trip, I just remember putting it on turntable and just listening to this like nonstop over and over again. I love this tune, Yankee Rose. The back is Shy Boy, maybe? Shy Boy. It was a good band, good album. You know, I listened to it not too long ago just to see how it held up, and you know, it's okay. I mean, I think later albums had a little bit more of an issue, but you know, I'd say a good half of this still stands up as a really good record. And his follow-up single was Going Crazy. Okay, I wasn't bananas about this song either. It was okay, you know. So Eat 'Em and Smile came out in July of 1986, and I think in September he put out a Spanish-speaking version called Sonrisa Salvaje. However, might not be pronouncing that properly, but you know, so he did Spanish versions of every tune on Eat 'Em and Smile. The B-side of Going Crazy was the version of Going Crazy from the Spanish album called Loco del Calor. Anyways, this was the video that introduced the Picasso brothers, where him and Pete Angelus played the Picasso brothers. Then he released That's Life, his cover of That's Life as a single, Bump and Grinds, the B-side. Yeah, whatever. It's okay, nothing special. Then he comes out with Skyscraper. I remember picking up Billboard in December of '87, and the center of the Billboard magazine folded out. It was this poster. I remember looking at it and I instantly knew when I saw it, something just told me like this is a new David Lee Roth album. And sure enough, it was. First single, Just Like Paradise, very, very poppy, completely pop. He got rid of Ted Templeman, very slick, maybe overproduced might be the right word for it. The Bottom Line was the B-side of this, but at the time I really liked it, but I don't know, it sounds a little dated now, I think. And then again, like Van Halen, they released this as a little wallet single with Just Like Paradise, and this comes out, it's a poster. The second single, Stand Up, and I mean, people thought Just Like Paradise was pop. Stand Up must have just exploded their heads, because this is just pure synthesizer pop music. It's backed with Knuckle Bones, which is a great tune, guitar tune. I think I would have preferred that as a single, man. The video is, it's just kind of like, feels like kind of slapped together or something done really, you know, kind of like with very little effort, you know, especially this guy, you know, the stuff he had done in the past, you know, and then to kind of put something like that as a video just kind of felt like a bit of a letdown. Final single from Skyscraper, Damn Good. It was a good tune. A lot of people like it. I think it's good, but I'm not been crazy about it. But didn't do a video for it, I don't believe. A lot of people think it's about Van Halen. I don't know if that's really true. It's back with Skyscraper, which is kind of an odd tune. I don't think it really did much. I don't know if it even charted in the top 100. It might have been in like the Bubbling Under thing on Billboard, but it's a decent tune. Then he puts out A Little Ain't Enough. And at this point, you know, these rock bands or whatever, you know, in the early 90s, especially late 80s, they kind of stopped putting out singles, 45s that you could buy. And so I have the A Little Ain't Enough single, but this is actually an import because there wasn't one in the United States. And this was backed with Babies on Fire, which is a tune I like, but it sounds a lot like a Led Zeppelin song. But I like this. I like the video, but it was obvious that his time was kind of passing. You know, it didn't do very well. The album didn't do that great. The tour was kind of postponed. I saw it in the summer, but it was supposed to start in like January. By the time he came around, it was the summer, and this album had long since left the charts. But he released his second single, Sensible Shoes, which wasn't a bad tune, kind of a slower track for him. But this is, again, the same thing. The singles weren't really released here. I think I have a cuss single of this, though. This really didn't do much. I mean, rock radio played it a bit, but top 40, top 100, it didn't really do anything. But again, this is an import. And the B-side is A Little Ain't Enough. It's funny because like the imports, their sleeves are much sturdier than the US ones were kind of flimsy. Then he released Your Filthy Little Mouth, and that was kind of the sure sign that his solo career kind of was done with. The album, I think, made it to like the 80s. And the first single was She's My Machine. Again, they weren't really putting out singles here in the US. This is an import. The B side of this is Mississippi Power, a cover. It's a non-LP track, which, you know, Van Halen didn't do, or David Lee Roth didn't do a whole lot of those kinds of things on in their career, you know. So it was kind of, it's a cool tune, Mississippi Power. I like it a lot, but it wasn't on the album. That's my collection of Van Halen and David Lee Roth 45s. I got tons of, you know, vinyl, CDs, cassettes, or whatever I'll be going through on my Van Halen collection slowly and surely. You know, if you're not a fan, you'll probably be skipping over these episodes and watch something else. And I hope you do watch something else. And I hope you subscribe and like the video and check out some of the other episodes. But thanks for watching, and take it easy.